Hello, my little kale chips. We are doing the bowl today. I made a promise to speak about animal liberation daily, and that's what I will do. Simply reciting Gary Yourofsky's The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear. I hope everybody does this. If every vegan of the 200 million, maybe 300 million that exist did this every day, the world would be vegan. So the way I like to put it is, if you are not an activist at least 10 minutes a day, simply speaking for the animals, then are you even vegan? Isn't it sort of stolen valor saying that you went vegan for the animals, but only saying that without doing anything? I don't know, man. It really upsets a lot of vegans, but there's no pretty way to say it. It's a very stagnant movement. Sure, there's a lot of really exciting content out there, like, all the stuff. Jimmy Cashby just dropped a new single, and Vegan Gains went on steroids and is going to compete in bodybuilding competitions. There's Brian Johnson, who technically isn't vegan, but aside from the honey and collagen and promoting wool for some reason because he's against plastic, he's pretty much vegan, so I always use him as a good example. We're in a time with AI and robots and lab-grown meats and all these options like mock meats. It's literally never been easier. We obviously have the internet, so people can look things up right away. It's our time. It's been long enough, and it's time for all of the victims of animal agriculture to be freed, to be liberated. Education is the only way to do that. No matter how good of an idea is, I'll rephrase that. No matter how good an idea is, if it's not put into action, it may as well not exist. If you have really good ideas about how to save animals within your internal world, definitely bring it out. There's a million ways to do activism. Simply trying to help the most vulnerable and innocent individuals. So what I do is I like to come down to a corner where everyone's sort of stuck at the bus stop, and I go through the speech. So let's see how it goes. Sometimes you get a really good conversation. Unfortunately, because the Wi-Fi is so poo-poo, I'm going to have to switch to recording them so I can post it as a video. So if I'm talking to someone, the stream's going to cut out for a few minutes. It will all improve over time. Every animal is an individual. They are all sentient. They deserve dignity, rights, freedom, and respect. Plants do not. Human beings are herbivores. If you're not a vegan, you are an animal abuser. I encourage you to YouTube Dairy Scary, watch Dominion.com, or Gary Yourofsky's The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear. So if you're not a vegan, you are an animal abuser. It's plain and simple. You ever notice how people love the animals that they don't eat and respect individuals who are not consumed? It's pretty messed up. So really think about it. Every animal is an individual. Human beings are herbivores. These are indisputable facts. And if you're not a vegan, you're an animal abuser. I'm going to try to recite Gary Yourofsky's The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear. I hope you like it. Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are talking about the world's forgotten victims, the animals. The world's oldest and strongest addiction, meat. I'll challenge your belief systems today, so certain parts of this protest will be intense. Let me start with a quick disclaimer. I'm not here to be your enemy. I'm not trying to take you away from your religion. No religion mandates meat eating. The golden rule states, do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. Non-human individuals qualify as others. And thou shalt not kill. Those are the four most important yet most ignored words in all religious teachings. There's an asterisk next to that commandment saying, thou shalt not kill unless you walk on all fours. of horns, feathers, fur, beaks, or gills. I'll be speaking for around 65, maybe 70 minutes. Then we'll do a Q&A after, so hold your questions until then. In the meantime, I have some rhetorical questions for you. Is slavery, owner, victim, profit, domination exclusive to the human race? Have blacks, Jews, women, and children been the only victims of these atrocities? Have not cows been enslaved? What about pigs, chickens, turkeys, and sheep? If they are not enslaved, what are they? Free? Can slavery have a victim that is neither human nor non-human animal? Have not the forests, the oceans, the very earth itself not become victims of ownership too? And what about a slaughterhouse? A house of slaughter. Besides psychological and physical abuse, torture, dismemberment, and murder, what do you think happens to your victims inside of a slaughterhouse? Think they all get belly rubs and tushy slaps? Do you think there's such a thing as humane slaughter? I'm curious, is there such a thing as humane rape? Humane child molestation? Humane slavery? How about a humane Holocaust? Which brings us to the biggest Holocaust massacre of all. Every year, without mercy, we murder 100 billion land animals, 3 trillion marine animals. Now for health, survival, sustenance, or self-defense, people eat meat, cheese, milk, eggs, and honey for 4 reasons: habit, tradition, convenience, and taste. Yeah, I know why people do it. I did it myself for 25 years, used to wear leather belts, shoes, and jackets like everyone else. In fact, around 20 years ago, I even owned a fur coat. Needless to say, I completely understand your lifestyle. It used to be mine. I'm not a Democrat, an anarchist, a Republican, a socialist, or a fascist, or some hippie with a closet full of tie-dye shirts. I'm an activist reciting Gary Yourofsky's The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear. Root word is active. Banned from 5 countries so far. Arrested 13 times for random acts of kindness and compassion on behalf of my animal brothers and sisters. If you'd like to read up about that, check out the website 88ptt.org, adapt.org. Today I would love to give you a chance to do something and truly get involved, because I understand people are not nefarious towards animals and they want to get involved. But putting a coexist bumper sticker on your car, or a What Would Jesus Do bracelet, or sporting a peace and love and sunshine t-shirt, it is not getting involved. I understand we're all on a journey in life. We all have different likes and dislikes, nationalities and religions and backgrounds. There's one thing we all need to have in common with each other, and that is peace. Genuine compassion and genuine peace towards our planetary companions. Contrary to political and religious dogma, individuals from other species, they do not belong to us. They are not commodities. They are not property. They are not inanimate, stupid, non-thinking objects that cannot think and feel. That Descartes Cartesian way of looking at non-human individuals like they are machines, it is outdated and quite frankly 100% insane. We all understand that animals use their eyes to see, nose to smell, mouth to eat, legs to walk, feathers to fly, fins to swim, genitalia to procreate, and bowels to defecate. I'm always perplexed why most people don't believe that they can use their brains, that they can use their brains to think, that they can use their brains to feel, be rational, aware, and self-aware, know what's going on, what we're doing to them. Am I supposed to believe every body part of another animal functions exactly the way it's supposed to, except the brain? Those lies are thick. The propaganda from the animal abusers is enormous. I mean, when was the last time you turned on the TV, saw a commercial for shiitake mushrooms? People singing and dancing down the street, having a good time, eating mushrooms. How about alfalfa sprouts, quinoa, radishes, raspberries? Quinoa, it's a seed. No, you don't see that stuff advertised on TV. What do you see instead? Have some more meat, have some more cheese, have some more cheese with your meat. Meat, cheese, double cheese, extra cheese. How about a little bit more cheese with your meat? Have some more cow's milk, have some more eggs. And what do you see interspersed between those advertisements? Not feeling so well? Need a heart doctor? How about a cancer specialist? Some Lipitor, Zocor, Crestor, Plavix? How about some diet pills, some Kaopeptate, some Pepto-Bismol, Tums? You've been duped. They are literally killing you. They're killing all the individuals from all the species, and they're killing this entire planet. But if you give me an open mind today, and that's all I ask for is an open mind, you're gonna take your blinders right off. My goal is simple. All I want to do is reconnect people with individuals from other species. Reawaken some emotions, some feelings, and some logic that has been intentionally buried and suppressed by our meat-eating society. Now, the reason I say reconnect is because at one point in time, every person here used to be a real animal rights person at one time, a true friend to the animal kingdom. That's when we were little. When we were kids, man, we used to be in awe of animals. They used to make us laugh and giggle and smile. They'd make us pretty happy. There was a time in our lives when we would do just about anything in the world to make them happy as well, to protect them from cruelty, or to at least acknowledge the cruelty they were receiving. I mean, if somebody were mean to an individual from another species, like a duck or a sheep in front of us when we were little, we would have screamed and cried. It's because we used to understand the difference between right from wrong when it came to the treatment of animals before somebody told us and taught us differently. You better believe somebody told us to ignore their suffering, to mock and excuse their pain and their misery, to make fun of their very existence. This is something I want you to focus on today, tomorrow, and beyond. What in the HE double hockey sticks happened along the way? Who taught us to be so mean and nasty, vicious and hateful, or indifferent towards other species when they used to be our friends? These are innocent beings who have done nothing wrong to us. They haven't hurt you, violated you in any way, shape, or form. The least you could do is go vegan and return the favor. If you go vegan, you can still listen to your favorite TV shows, listen to your favorite music, even if it's Ted Nugent, keep your friends, your politics, and your family. Vegans are like vegetarians. They do not consume the meat of any land or marine animals. Vegans, however, unlike vegetarians, also refrain from eating eggs or cheese or milk or any animal products whatsoever. We don't wear animal skins, no fur, leather, wool, silk, or down. Now, I'm pretty sure that we can all agree on one thing right now, that hatred in its purest form is a learned behavior. Racism, sexism, heterosexism, transphobia, misogyny, these are all learned behaviors. When kids are 2, 3, 4 on the playground, they couldn't care less about the color of their friend's skin or their religious background. There's no doubt that hatred in its purest form is learned. So speciesism, just like racism or sexism, is no different. I want to define this word as the unethical, unprincipled point of view that the human species has every right to oppress, exploit, enslave, and murder another species. All because we believe that our species is so more superior, so more special than all the other ones. We're the only ones that count. We're the only ones that matter. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that line of thinking, that thought process, is the basis of all forms of discrimination. One group thinking and saying they're more special than everybody else. Then they proceed to exploit them, oppress them, deny them the right to be free. They enslave them in many cases. They treat them like property. In many other cases, they murder them with premeditation and without penalty. Understand something essential about discrimination. It's never okay to be picking and choosing which forms of discrimination to say are evil. Racism, discriminating against someone's race and treating them like an object. Or speciesism, discriminating against someone's species and treating them like an object. Discrimination is evil on its foundation, or it is not. You cannot have this both ways, folks. It does not work like that. What I'm asking you to do is use some empathy right now. What I mean by empathy is place yourselves in the positions of your victims. Start to view animal liberation and veganism and animal agriculture from your victim's point of view. Because when you're not the victim, it's pretty easy to rationalize and excuse cruelty, inequality, injustice, slavery, and even murder. But if you were in the body of a cow or a fish or a chicken, things will look a lot differently from that angle. I want to show you a graphic video on what happens to individuals inside of a slaughterhouse. It's called watchdominion.com. I'm not endorsed by them in any way. It's just a good resource. If you choose to eat meat, cheese, cows, eggs, honey, all that stuff, at the very least, you are obligated to see the pain and the suffering that you are causing. But if you do feel the need to turn away and close your eyes during watchdominion.com or slaughterhouse footage, you might want to ask yourself a question. If it's not good enough for my eyes, why is it good enough for my stomach? You ever wonder why McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, and Wendy's never show you those images in their TV ads? Instead, they show you smiling cartoon characters of animals singing and dancing and playing, lying to you. brainwashing you, programming you not to care about things that you used to care about, things that you normally care about, like injustice and disrespect, inequality. Right now, in this very moment on our highways, there are no less than 5,000 concentration camp trucks. Inside these trucks, there are living, terrified, innocent individuals, cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, lamb. These trucks are being driven to concentration camp slaughterhouses we carefully constructed all across the country. Closest one to you is a 5-minute drive to Commercial and Hastings. 10,000 individuals get their throats slit every day there. So when you buy animal products, you're paying someone to get on these trucks with electric prods and taser these sweet little angels in the face to force them to march down the chutes to their own death. In other words, they go in alive against their will, and they come out chopped up into hundreds of pieces. You want to know what's more insane than that? Meat eaters walking around like their lifestyle isn't causing any harm. Like it's normal and natural to be consuming violence and death. How would you feel if the day that you were born, somebody had already planned the day of your execution? That's what it's like to be a fish, chicken, turkey, or a cow on this planet. With all due respect, I think this type of behavior is inexcusable. It's unbecoming of a species that claims to understand the difference between right from wrong. The animals have not done one single thing wrong to us to deserve the wrath and the cruelty that we hurl on them. Now, I hope you all understand what I'm offering you here today. Are you aware that after this protest, you can directly participate in ending a massacre? Instead of sitting around and paying lip service to all the problems and injustice and massacres that are always taking place on this planet. What's so frustrating to me, traveling this country, doing 250 lectures a year to some 75,000 university students, is everybody talks a good game about how peaceful and compassionate they are. People always want to tell me, never show me, just tell me how peaceful they are because of what they believe in, what makes them sad. Yeah, I believe in God and angels and I pray all the time, and those earthquakes in Chile and Haiti, and what animals go through to end up on our plates. Oh, it's so sad. No shit, it's sad. Since when does feeling sad about animal abuse, yet pay for it, make someone a good person or make the world a better place? Now listen, folks, I don't mean to talk down on you. I'm not dogging you out. I'm not. I'm just not a politician. I'm not a bullshit artist. I don't know how to schmooze people. It's beyond me, as you can tell. I'm not a salesperson either. I got no books or DVDs or documentaries, no collection plate going around. I don't want your money or email address or your mailing address. Keep all that stuff. I'm here to talk about the worst form of cruelty and violence taking place on this planet, even though most people don't seem to care about it. But when you sit back in the comfort of your living room and you start condemning atrocities elsewhere while claiming to be an animal lover or against animal abuse, rape, slavery, and murder, it's a double standard. It's pure, unadulterated hypocrisy. It's lip service. It's the very definition. But veganism, this is your chance to actually walk the compassionate talk that everyone's always talking about. This is your chance for a personal revolution, to show others how truly peaceful you are. Leave your mark on this planet by causing the least amount of harm. Now tell me, what is the argument for not causing the least amount of harm? Inconvenience? Indifference? Apathy? Selfishness? I want you to know I don't live in fantasy land. I'm well aware that all the individuals from all the species are suffering and dying just because we're here on this planet with them. We build homes for their habitats, polluting and destroying their environments. Is there any reason we need to be eating them on top of it all? Talk about pouring salt into somebody else's wound. 98%, and I repeat that stat, 98% of all the animals that are abused and killed on this planet are abused and killed by the fishing, meat, dairy, and egg industries. Animal agriculture is where all the harm is taking place. And by the way, if you take the biomass of all the animals on the entire planet, 96% are humans and the animals that we farm to eat for no reason, and only 4% of all the individuals on this planet are wildlife. And we take life and turn it into money, stock, livestock. That's why they call it stock. It's inventory, it's profit. You're commodifying someone, objectifying someone. If you don't want that done to you, I really don't understand how you think it's okay to do it to the most vulnerable and innocent individuals on the planet. Human beings are herbivores. People seem to believe that we're supposed to be doing this like it's normal and natural. Are you aware that physiologically, the human body is 100% plant eater? We are herbivores. The length of our intestines is somewhere between 7 to 13 times the length of our torso. Our trunk is very long. Same exact ratio as all herbivore intestines on the planet. The length of the intestines on real meat eaters, hyenas, bears, coyotes, lions, and tigers and bears. Only 3 to 6 times the length of their torso. They have a short intestinal tract, so they can quickly push through rotting, decaying animal flesh, animal protein, saturated fat, and trans fatty acids. We see in full color. You've heard it a million times before. Cats and dogs are colorblind. They do not see in full color because they are meat eaters. Herbivores, like humans, see in full color so they can tell when fruit is ripe and ready to eat. What happens to an apple or an avocado when it gets old? It gets ripe and ready to eat. What happens to individuals like fish, chickens, cows, and pigs, and turkeys, and monkeys? When they get old, they get old. Because they're just like us. They're sentient, living individuals with a brain, a central nervous system, and pain receptors. They deserve dignity, rights, freedom, and respect to be treated in the spirit of brotherhood. This is the Cambridge Declaration of Consciousness, signed in front of Stephen Hawking 8 years ago. Of the 1 billion species that exist, all of them are sentient, conscious, aware, and self-aware. They have personhood. They are not objects. Our jaws go from side to side when we chew, when we eat. They are not embedded into our skull like a meat eater. If your jaw goes side to side like this, when you eat like a moo cow, you are an herbivore. Our brains run on sugar. Only herbivores' brains run on sugar, not fat and protein. We're not lions and Tyrannosaurus Rex. We're not tigers. Our brains run on sugar, not fat and protein, like all the other herbivores on the planet. Our mouth and throat opening relative to head size is very small, the same exact ratio as all herbivores. The mouths and throats of real meat eaters are very big. They have rough tongues. They're, that's why 98% of all choking fatalities in human beings are caused by herbivores, humans, trying to eat meat and then choking and dying on it. We have alumase in our saliva. Only herbivores have that. It's alkaline, not acidic. Same with our urine. We are the opposite of a meat eater. The sight of blood and guts is disgusting to everybody. It doesn't make us hungry and excited like it does for carnivores and omnivores. We're not going around eating seagulls and raccoons and pigeons. That would be insane. Because we are herbivores. We evolved from monkeys. We are apes, just like bonobos, gorillas, and chimpanzees. Our intestines are pupillated and they require fiber. That is only found in plants. We literally get coltitis and die without fiber. The world's most measured and healthiest human being on the planet is Brian Johnson. He is vegan. Literally reduced his biological speeding age by 50%. So for every 12 chronological years, he only ages 6 months. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. There's a Harvard Nun study, Oxford Vegetarian Meat Eater study, Seventh-day Adventist study 1 and 2. You can check it out with the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Over 100,000 credentialized practitioners that study a lifetime on this. It is the largest cohort of nutrition and dietetics experts on the planet. You can Google this, ask Alexa, Siri, AI, Google. We are herbivores, 100% inside out. Now, if somebody out there really believes that humans are, and there's no claws on the human hand, that's a trademark of the carnivore and the omnivore. Somebody really believes that human beings are meat eaters. Give you 2 challenges to prove me wrong afterwards. Please do so if you wish. I want you to spot a squirrel, put that carnivore speed into effect everybody has. No weapons, tools, or cages. You want to prove to me that you're a real meat eater. You'd have no problem chasing down a squirrel, killing them in your mouth. Be my guest, eat the squirrel, eyes, nose, face, toes, tail, anus, inner organ, blood, fur. Don't forget about the brains. People want to be real meat eaters. They'd have no problem eating uncooked, unseasoned flesh down to the bone until there's nothing left but the bone, day after day. Challenge number 2, take a 2-year-old child with consent and put them in a crib with a live bunny rabbit and an apple. If the child kills and eats the bunny rabbit and plays with the apple, let me know, will ya? I might consider changing my stance, but we are herbivores. We have 0 omnivorous instincts, 0 carnivorous instincts. There's absolutely nothing that anyone needs from any animal's body. All I'm asking you to do is something normal and natural anyways. Eat what comes from the earth. Every vitamin, mineral, nutrient that exists, protein, calcium, iron, potassium, all the B vitamins, they have an original source, and it ain't the animals. You are aware that people eat animals after they've eaten from the earth. We eat cows after the cows have eaten the grass and some of the soil. Then we ship them to the feedlot, feed them most of our corn, wheats, oats, and soy. Stop filtering your nutrients to somebody else's body. It's illogical, it's irrational. Go to those sources directly, like fruits and vegetables, seeds, nuts, berries, legumes, aquatic vegetables, herbs and spices, mushrooms. These things cannot harm you, cannot cause a disease, and more importantly, they harm nobody else in the process. Now, how come when I talk about mock meats, like tofurkey turkey or something like that, people wrinkle up their noses and make big wide eyes like, so chicken, is this guy crazy? How come animal products that are made out of plants are disgusting to everybody, but meat, let me break it down for you. It's got 5 components: blood, flesh, veins, muscles, tendons, and cow secretions. The cut up corpse of a dismembered body, severed legs, sliced up thighs, mutilated breasts, somebody else's rib cage sitting on your plate isn't considered gross. Anyone know what an egg is from a hen? Don't say embryo or aborted fetus. It's unfertilized, so it can't be either. Hen is a female though. Unfertilized egg through a female menstruation cycle once a month. It's a hen's period. People scramble up hen periods in the morning. And all of a sudden I'm weird because I don't make omelets anymore unless they're vegan or I have some berries or something. What about vomit? You guys love vomit. You adore it all over your food. Better give this one a pretty name though. No one's gonna buy and eat vomit unless we call it honey instead. Check it out with any wildlife biologist. Honey comes directly from the stomach of a bee. It's regurgitated right through a bee's mouth. But nobody wants bee vomit, not Cheerios. We want honey, not Cheerios. So we lie to ourselves. We play euphemism games. The standard diet of a meat eater is blood, flesh, veins, muscles, tendons, dead corpses. We are necrovores, scavengers, eating dead bodies. Hen periods and pus. Let me tell you about the pus in your cow's milk. It would be my pleasure when you hook up machines to the udders of cows, suck them dry 3 times a day for 40 liters of milk like a bathtub. Those machines produce massive amounts of infections on the inside and the outside of the udders. But the machines, they don't know what not to suck out. Blood, pus, mucus, and infection all goes down with your milk. And 85% of all cows right now have mastitis. So drink up, because our government allows 1 eyedropper, like a tablespoon of pus for every cup of cow's milk. And also you might want to look up casomorphines. That's another lie from the dairy industry. Dairy is literally as addictive as opioids. You can Google this. It lights up the same neurons in your brain as crack, heroin, ecstasy, and morphine. When baby cows are born, their mothers produce a hormone in their milk. It's not morphine, but in cows, it is a version of morphine, casomorphines. This keeps the baby addicted to their mother's milk, so they're close and safe to their mom, and they don't wander off to the big bad wolf in the woods. Human women produce this too.
Go vegan?